So what we're working on is maintaining the gain. So you don't want to essentially just gain the weapon and then when I thrust through his strong, right? He's just gonna get the parry. So when we maintain the gain, there's several things that factor into this in distance. If I'm about tip to tip or pretty much not halfway down his sword, then when I go to gain his blade, I want to bring my strong to his weak. The main concept here is we're going to do whatever we need to bring our strong to their weak. So in this case, because of the range, it's going to be forward. So the easy way to think about this, I'm bringing my guard to where our swords met. Now I need to fence out as well, and I need to maintain the gain on the retreat. So once again, I'm bringing my strong to his weak. Okay, what I don't want to do is maintain on the way in, and then on the way out, move my weak to his strong, and then now he can just attack me and hit me with an afterblow. Okay, so when we're at a far enough distance where we need to bring our sword forward, that's what we will do. If we were at our closer distance, and my tip is a little bit further down, maybe closer to the halfway point, then me going forward is not going to be smart because now I'm just going to be moving my weak into his strong. So instead what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring my tip back up. Now the way I do this is I don't bring my arms back using my shoulders. Instead, I'm going to push my bottom hand down and my top hand up. Or just bring my top hand up to bring my strong to their weak, okay? Now when we do this, you don't want to go above their head. You want to keep it at about head level, and you want to keep your blade guarding a lot of your body. When I do this, I also like to sink low, okay? So when we bring our tip back, now what we're going to be doing is we're no longer going to be going forward like this. When we bring our tip back, we're going to be shoving our sword at an upwards angle like this into their face. Just like I had said before, be super careful throwing this shot because it lands right at their chin and it will chin check them. And a lot of times when you get this shot, it's when people run in because say he comes running in, boom, and we end up close in the bind like this. If I go like that, he's going to parry. So instead I pull up and I shoot upwards, okay? Now, several things to note when I do this. Your arms should not be raising up. Instead, they're just kind of going forward a little bit. They're not coming up here. You're just shooting them forward. Now, you only go so far forward because if you go too far forward, your hands start to raise. So what we do to compensate for this when we bring it back and we extend our arms forward a little bit, that's when we lunge in and we keep this nice coverage and we hit that shot. Then once again, we're gonna fence out, bringing our strong to their weak, okay? Now what we had covered last week too was that these aren't just necessarily techniques to get you the kill. They're techniques that you use all the time. So for example, this same essentially like up jab, up thrust can be done from a parry. Say if he attacks me, boom, and I get this parry, now I'm gonna be shoving up. Because instead, if he goes to attack me and I end up here, now this up shove's not gonna work, I would do this one. But usually when you get the parry, it ends up being parrying them on your strong and ending up pretty close. So when he attacks me and I get that parry on my strong, now what I'm gonna be doing is shoving up essentially, okay? Now, same thing where if I attack him and he parries. If I go to attack him and he gets this parry, I can do the same thing where I bring my tip back and then up thrust to the face. Does that make sense? So what we're going to be doing is you're going to be doing either of those. So now you're going to kind of flow around like we're sparring, okay? And then whatever distance I end up at that I feel like gaining that blade and getting that thrust, I'm going to do it. So maybe we both come forward. Now we ended up a little bit closer than what I want. So I'm going to pull that tip up and then I'm going to up thrust. Versus if we're flowing around and he's at a decently far distance, maybe I step back and he comes forward. Now when it's here, I'm going to thrust in that way and then fence out properly, okay? So you're gonna go one for one. You're gonna kind of flow around and find that range and find the one that you wanna do. Then we'll start implementing doing them a little bit more off the parries. Guys, so let's cover a couple things that will help you. The easy concept here is when it comes to like binding, all I'm really just trying to do is get the strong of my sword to the weak of theirs. And distance is gonna affect this, like distance of the feet, right? Like our measure, this is gonna change where we're at whenever we're at in the bind. So all I essentially really need to think about is I'm like, okay, if we initiate here, do I need to bring my strong forward or backwards? So in this case, which would it be? Forward. So I just bring my strong forward. Now I'm closer, right? So now do I need to bring my strong forward or backwards to get out safely? Backwards, right? So at whatever distance I'm at, that's all I think about when I'm binding. Do I need to bring my strong forward or backwards? No matter how deep we are in the exchange. So say I have the bind and I go to attack and then he gets the parry, right? So now I just need to think about from where I'm at right now, do I need to bring my strong forward or backwards? So right now it's backwards. If I bring it backwards, then my thrust changes to an upwards thrust instead of a forward thrust. Because from here, if I go forward, I will go into a strong. So instead, I'm going to go upwards. Okay? So say we're in another exchange. Say he attacks me. Boom. Okay? And he's close to killing me, and my weak is at his strong. Does my weak need to go forward or backwards? Backwards. So I just go backwards. Now, if I'm at a distance over here, does my strong need to go forward or backwards? Forwards, right? And I can't up thrust from here because my tip's not on line, right? I made a mistake. So now I'm going to go forward. Now from here, does it go forward or backwards? Backwards. So all we're doing is we're flowing around, right? And I'm just thinking to myself, does my tip need to go forward or backwards? Maybe I have it in a low guard, steal a little bit of measure. I'm here and I'm like, okay, backwards, up thrust. So that's all you're essentially thinking about. That main concept is, does my tip go forward or backwards, right? It's like a similar concept in the parry of, is his blade below mine or above it, right? If his blade is above it, then if I'm doing a circular parry or whatever, I'm going an upwards one. If his blade is below mine, then I'm doing a downward one. So you can combine these two things when you're fencing. Do I need to bring my blade forward or backwards based on distance? And do I need to bring my blade up or down based on whether or not his sword is lower or higher than mine? This helps give you really good parries and attacks because I just go, okay, his sword's above mine, so I need to move my sword up to take it. And then now where we're at to get strong to weak, I need to move it forward, right? So that's really mostly what a lot of times you're thinking about in that bind is just, do I bring my sword down or up? Forward or backwards. Maintain that good leverage, and if you can keep that leverage and keep good distance, then you're going to be really safe. If you can control the distance at which ones you want to use, so essentially like if we're fencing and I'm like, okay, I want to be at a closer distance, I'm going to control that so I know that I'm shooting upwards instead of forward. Or if I'm the type of person that wants to fight at a longer distance. So that's really all you're thinking about is those things, and then you manipulate the fight to be however you want on your terms of those things with distance. Does that make sense? Okay, so back to it. Just think to yourself, bring my strong forward or bring it backwards. Now we're gonna add something real simple. What do we do if they parry? Okay, so now I'm here, boom, I get that strong, right, and I thrust and he happens to get that parry. All I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna stay at this spot in the bind while twisting my hand. Then I'm gonna slice my sword up, displacing his further. As he pushes against it, I'm gonna go loose, let it slide a little bit, and then slice off for the cut. Okay, this is what's called slicing off. So essentially, boom, I'm here, I go, he gets that parry, and I'm slicing off into my cut. Whether or not you want a passing step is up to you. So once again, I go here. Okay, I can go here and I can pass if I'm going to the body. When I throw this to the body, I'm also clearing his sword. Or I can throw it to the hands. Okay, if I go here, I like to throw it to the hands if I'm not passing because it's such an easy target because they get offline and you just get that slice off. And then you cut right to the hands. Okay, so you got two options. I come in for that attack. Boom, pass to the body, clear the sword. Or boom, cut to the hands and still moving to that sword. Okay,